Now, this is News Views, a newscast for Champaign-Urbana, Illinois, and the world. And now, Michael Badger.
This is News View. Tonight, our top story, and the top story tonight is in Urbana. Some roads are going to be smoother, according to WCIA TV Channel 3 in Champaign, Illinois. Urbana roads are getting repaved. Some already have been. Over 30 roads. And they say different roads will be closed each day for hours at a time. The city's going to post signs to let the public know when each street in Urbana will be worked on. The road work in Urbana should all be completed by October 3rd, 2012. And that's at WCIA.com. You can look that up and get a whole list of every street in Urbana that is having the construction done. And according to NBC News, the Mars rover has targeted taken shots of a rock called Jake on Mars. According to Alan Boyle at NBC News, they say the first rock that NASA's Curiosity rover will touch for science sake on Mars is a pyramid-shaped chunk that's been named in honor of a top engineer who worked on every one of NASA's rover missions but passed away just days after Curiosity's landing. Curiosity's study of the rock, dubbed Jake Matjevic, will demonstrate the next few days of the rover's operations on Mars, just as its observations of Martian mini-eclipses dominated the past few days. Jake the rock, which measures about 10 inches, 25 centimeters tall, and 16 inches, or 40 centimeters wide, isn't all that exotic. It seems to consist of garden-variety basalt, similar to the first Martian rock that NASA's Spirit rover examined 8.5 years ago. And that's exactly the point, according to John Grotzinger, project scientist for Curiosity's mission. Jake will provide a good yardstick for sophisticated instruments such as the Alpha Proton X-ray spectrometer, or APXS, and the laser zapping KimCam analyzer. And you can read more about that at cosmiclog.nbcnews.com. And according to Reuters, the West Nile virus has killed 4 in the Balkans and put dozens in the hospital. This that West Nile virus is a mosquito-borne disease usually found in temperate and tropical regions. While many cases are mild and have no symptoms, severe disease symptoms can include headaches, high fever, neck stiffness, coma, tremors, convulsions, muscle weakness, and paralysis. Kosovo confirmed its first fatality Wednesday, saying a victim was a woman from central Kosovo who died September 14th. A spokesman for Kosovo's health ministry told Reuters Thursday 2 other people who died recently were also suspected of having the same virus, although the cases had not been confirmed with laboratory blood tests. The United States is currently experiencing one of its worst outbreaks of West Nile virus since 2003. In Serbia, people have died, 3 people have died, and 35 were hospitalized since mid-August. All infected people were older than 50 and had other chronic diseases. And Serbia's western neighbor, Croatia, has registered 5 probable cases of the virus but no deaths. And you can read that at Reuters.com. According to ABC News in America, the cigarette tax is being written about by Laura Seeley. She says, higher cigarette taxes may be financially hurting low-income smokers rather than making them more likely to quit, according to a new survey by researchers at RTI International. This survey, which looked at more than 13,000 people living in New York State, found that lower-income smokers in the state spent nearly a quarter of their household income on cigarettes, compared with an average 2% spent by wealthier New York smokers. And we'll return right after this with more NewsView and weather right here on NewsView. According to Ryan Jaslow of CBS News and CBSNews.com, a new study finds yogurt may be a key component in a heart-healthy diet, they say. In research presented in a September 19th medical conference in Washington, D.C., researchers found that long-term yogurt eaters were less likely to develop high blood pressure than those who didn't eat yogurt. The study tracked more than 2,000 volunteers for 15 years, giving them questionnaires about their dietary habits at three intervals during the study. The participants were 31% less likely to develop high blood pressure if at least 2% of their daily calories came from yogurt. That's about the equivalent of eating a 6-ounce cup of low-fat yogurt every 3 days. The researchers also found people who ate yogurt had a lower systolic blood pressure than those who didn't. Systolic blood pressure refers to the top number in a blood pressure reading that reflects the force of blood against the artery walls while the heart is beating. If left uncontrolled, high systolic pressure can lead to stroke, heart attack, congestive heart failure, kidney damage, or blindness, according to the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute. And you can read more about that at CBSNews.com in their Health Pop section. And again, according to WCIA-TV in Champaign, Channel 3, 2 suspects were arrested in a credit union robbery, and this also turned into a high-speed chase that Police say a man robbed the Community Plus Credit Union off Champaign Avenue in Rantoul. Then, minutes later, the getaway car was flying south down Interstate 57 toward Champaign. Two suspects are behind bars. 27-year-old Marcy Thomas and 24-year-old Darda Bishop, both from Champaign. The suspects weren't only speeding on the highway, they were driving fast through some neighborhoods. Police say that Bishop crashed the car near the intersection of Arcadia and Winding Lane. The car jumped a curb, skidded across a driveway, then came to a stop in a yard. The car blew out a tire when that happened. This all started at Community Plus Credit Union around 10:42 a.m. the other day. Police say one of the men was wearing a disguise when he entered the bank. He then used a note demanding money from the teller. Police say he never showed a weapon, though. And after getting the cash, they fled towards Champaign from Rantoul, where the credit union they robbed was. Police say Thomas ditched the car and forced his way into a home on East Garwood Street. They caught him as he was trying to walk away from the area. Bishop continued driving before crashing. He was arrested after a short foot chase. You can read more about that at WCIA.com or IllinoisHomepage.net. And we continue to the Los Angeles Times at LATimes.com. HBO's CEO Bill Nelson is retiring, and Richard Pelper is going to succeed him, according to Joe Flint at LATimes.com. HBO Chairman and Chief Executive Bill Nelson's retiring after almost 30 years with the pay cable behemoth HBO. Richard Pelper, currently a co-president of HBO, has been tapped to succeed Nelson as chief executive. Eric Kessler, another co-president, has been promoted to president and chief operating officer. And one last story here from the Chicago Tribune. An Illinois company is in trouble and on the hook for millions of dollars in a popcorn lung, quote-unquote, lawsuit. According to Robert Bozicki, I don't know how you pronounce that, of Reuters. Denver, Colorado, a U.S. federal court jury Wednesday awarded a Colorado man $7.2 million in damages for developing a chronic condition known as popcorn lung from a chemical used in flavoring microwave popcorn. Jurors agreed with the claims by Wayne Watson, 59, that the downstate Illinois popcorn manufacturer and the supermarket chain that sold it were negligent by failing to warn on labels that the butter flavoring Diactyl was dangerous. The condition is a form of obstructive lung disease that makes it difficult for air to flow out of the lungs and is irreversible, according to WebMD. Watson of suburban Denver was the first consumer of microwave popcorn diagnosed with the disease, bronchiolitis colitis obliterans, his attorney Kenneth McLean said. Watson was diagnosed in 2007 at Denver's National Jewish Health, a respiratory health center, after years of inhaling the smell of artificial butter on the popcorn he said he ate daily. The verdict was that the latest line of cases in the 15 years, starting with the workers in popcorn plants where Dactyl was an ingredient that is linked the chemical to health problems. You can read more about that at the Chicago Tribune health section online and maybe in the paper too. Well, thank you for watching NewsView. The email address here is newsview@email.com. That's newsview@email.com if you want to email me. And we might have a big announcement about NewsView. NewsView might be expanding. We'll see. And thank you for watching NewsView. Have a great night. Stay tuned for the weather for South Central Illinois' weather forecast next. Hello, I'm Michael Badger, and this is your NewsView weather forecast for the Champaign-Urbana, Decatur, Springfield, Danville area. Friday night, a low of 45 degrees tonight with a 40% BOP. Saturday, high of 65 degrees Fahrenheit under mostly sunny skies. Saturday night, mostly clear, a low of 40 degrees Fahrenheit. And for your Sunday, sunny and 62 degrees Fahrenheit. Sunday night, a low of 40 degrees under mostly clear skies. This has been your NewsView weather for Central Illinois.